Alright, so Canada is on your mind. Coming to Canada as a permanent residence or temporary doesn't matter, but you just want to come to Canada and start a new life. If that is your situation, then this is the video that you must be watching till the end, and we are discussing where to start from the scratch if Canada is on your mind. Alright guys, so welcome back once again. My name is Sahil and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I practice in Brampton, Ontario. My office is there and right now I'm traveling to India. So if you have to get in touch with me, my number is on the screen for WhatsApp, and if you have to give me a direct call while I'm traveling to India, please make a note of my Indian number. Guys, if you're watching this video for the first time, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that every time we release a new video, you're the first one who's given a notification and you do not miss any video on Canadian immigration or related topics. So guys, we are discussing the very important topic where a lot of people think of coming to Canada but they don't know where to start. I mean, they have no idea what really goes into coming to Canada. All they've ever heard is that people are getting PRs, people are getting work permits, people are getting study permits. Some people think coming to Canada on a visitor visa is good. So all of these facts are bombarding you, but you have no idea what to do, where you might be eligible, how to proceed further. Then this is the important topic of the day. Guys, the first things first, usually people want to come to Canada permanently. That's like the popular choice all the time, because what they think is that if they are spending a lot of money, if they are coming to Canada, which is a developed nation of course, so they generally think that wherever they are around the world, they definitely think that coming to Canada is a better option and an opportunity, and they're pretty much by far correct also, because see, overall Canada on the world map is the developed nation. It is one of the calm nations which is making progress, a very stable market altogether. And if I start thinking of it, I don't really see where Canada falls short. But then yes, when we look at the options, there are two things that you need to consider first. So let's say I am a person and I just discovered Canada, and I just came across Canada through a couple of friends, couple of people, and then everybody is thinking Canada PR, Canada Express Entry, and I'm really confused. So the first things first is that Canada has two types of immigrations, say programs or pathways per se, and I'm going to be talking in layman language because that's a kind of language that you will understand, and I'm not going to be talking in the jargon language or the picture perfect language. So I'm going to be putting the words in front of you which make sense to you. So Canada has two basic pathways. First one is the permanent pathway, which is permanent residence. The other one is all the others, which are temporary usually. Okay, permanent by name, you get a PR today, you stay in Canada for a couple of years, and then after the PR you get your citizenship. Okay, that is one route. Other route is come to Canada on a temporary basis, on a temporary visa. Visas like visitor, work, study, all of these are temporary visas. So come to Canada on a temporary visa, convert it into a permanent residence, and then get to a citizenship. So these are two separate pathways. We'll first discuss the permanent pathway because it's short and crisp, and then we'll go on to the temporary pathways. Now, the permanent pathway usually has online applications, which is by far the public preference all the time. So the online application system is the common language online application system is known as an express entry. Now today or tomorrow, whenever you want to get your PR, you ultimately have to claim points under the express entry system. Okay, now if you go ahead and research more on Canada express entry, you will then be able to realize that whether or not you're eligible today to get your PR. Apart from express entry, you will have another program which will be a provincial nomination program, PNP, which by itself is a PR program. Or otherwise sometimes PNP then gets hopped on to express entry, and there is how you get your PR. Okay, so both of them, they work in tandem, and then there are a couple of pilot programs which ultimately ride onto a PR. Okay, so express entry is what you need to understand, like the basic, and then obviously there are additional programs like PNPs, pilot programs, or other pathways to PR if you are eligible. But they're all eligibility based. Okay, and usually when we talk about eligibility, You would need English, right? There are a couple of programs which do not need IELTS at all, but yes, most of them require somewhat level of understanding of IELTS, English. Then obviously your work experience matters, your education matters, your age matters, and all of these put together will tell you that whether or not are you eligible under one of these programs. Okay, now let's say a lot of times people who do not have any direct eligibility under a particular PR program, express entry, PNP or whatever, they can then start looking towards the temporary programs. Okay, now temporary programs can broadly be classified into three main categories. One is a visitor, second is a worker, and third is a study permit. Okay, now I will take these options one by one. Worker program, if you classify work, temporary foreign worker, it can be further classified into two types. One is an open work permit, second is a closed work permit. Okay, and by name, closed work permit means, and it is applicable to most of the people who are trying to come to Canada and work. Closed work permit is where you need employer support. So the employer must get a document which is called an LMIA in your favor from the ESDC, and then you use that document to apply for a work permit. That is a closed work permit, which means you cannot work for any other employer but that employer only in Canada. The other kind of work permit is an open work permit, which is, an open work permit is not that you can just go ahead and apply. Okay, it is situational or eligibility based. For example, let's say you completed an education course, a long course which is more than 6 months at a DLI which is approved by IRCC. In a nutshell, you are an international student and then you get your work permit. Obviously, you need to be studying in a particular program considering you qualify for these programs and the conditions. But yes, an international student is usually eligible for an open work permit, or your spouse is an international student, or your spouse is an international worker already, then you could apply for an open work permit and such conditions. So just to be very clear, you cannot randomly apply for an open work permit for Canada. Okay, you need to be eligible under one of the buckets, which are usually not common buckets. Not that randomly get up in the morning and say, okay, I'm now going to apply for an open work permit in Canada, right? So just be aware of the frauds and scams that are happening. Now guys, after work permits, the second most popular category, or rather very famous category, is a study permit, study visa. Now study visa is where you come to Canada to study for more than 6 months. You need that study visa, and when you apply for one, if you are studying at a particular designated learning institution, which is a college or a university, then some colleges or some universities will allow you to apply for a post-grad work permit after the course is completed. Okay, so that post-grad work permit is an open work permit, which is usually given to students. After you do your studies, after you complete your studies in Canada, you can then apply for PR, gain points under express entry or PNP, and then go for your pathway to PR. Now guys, we all know that study and work both can lead to a permanent residence at a later stage of life, provided you are eligible under particular programs after them. But usually a lot of people also think of coming to Canada on a visitor visa. Okay, then the visitor visa is by itself a temporary program which does not allow you to work in Canada. It is only for visiting purposes. Okay, now parents coming to see you, parents coming to Canada for more than 6 months is also a temporary visitor visa, is a temporary resident visa. Just coming to roam in Canada, holiday and all of that is a visitor visa, temporary short visit to Canada. But yes, there are provisions under IRPA where you can convert a visitor visa into either a work permit or a study permit, but it is not easy. Okay, you need employer support or college. There are a lot of complexities which we will not dive down right now because this is not the video that we're talking about conversion. But yes, converting a visitor visa to worker or a study is possible, which can further lead to a PR, or if you are eligible, we don't know, a visitor visa to an express entry is also possible. and that can be done outside Canada also. Okay, guys, the other categories of visas which you must other categories of immigration that you must know are business immigration, wherein you could be looking at investing in Canada, and a business immigration can come as low as where you don't invest anything in the initial days, only do the right things under immigration for getting your company set up, and then come to Canada later. Or maybe you directly invest some amount in Canada, which could be at a minimum of 200,000 Canadian dollars and upwards. So these are the two different kinds of business immigrations that you can look at. The other category which usually is in the news always with Canada, because Canada is very compassionate, is refugees. So a lot of refugees who have threat to their life do come to Canada, and Canada has a specific refugee protection in place. The whole system is in place to make sure that people are protected. So if you find yourself under threat to your life, you could be exploring that option as well. Guys, just to be very sure that all the options that I told you, these are broad specific programs. These are broad programs that I just discussed with you. Please make sure that you are eligible in under one of these. Just to overall tell you that if you are coming to Canada, it's an English speaking nation, and by default the immigration officers expect you to understand and know English if you want to settle down in Canada. So yes, when people usually ask that is IELTS required, most of the times the answer is yes, it is required. It is questionable whether it would be higher or lower. It's a different ball game altogether, but usually IELTS is required. Okay, and we're not talking about refugee. It's not that you need to know IELTS to claim refugee protection, but just broadly speaking, IELTS is required. Otherwise, guys, these are the programs. You can look at the other specific videos which we have dedicated to each of these programs for a better understanding. If you want more details, please feel free to schedule a consultation with me. My number is on the screen and details are there in the description box. I would be more than happy to look at your case and see if there is any suitable immigration program under Canadian immigration for you. If yes, please feel free to schedule one. Once again, guys, it was lovely chatting with you, and we will be seeing you soon in Canada if God has this in back for you. I wish you all the best and see you soon.